And this morning on Today's Health, obsessing over good nutrition. It's called orthorexia, taking healthy eating to the extreme. Madeline Fernstrom is today's diet and nutrition editor, and Robbie Ludwig is a psychotherapist. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning,
I have to say this was a new one on me, Madeline. Orthorexia. What is it? It's hard to imagine eating healthfully would be bad for you.
And you think, what could be bad with that? And that's why it's really under the radar. You think healthy eating, that could be a good thing. But the key thing that's missing here is moderation. This is an obsession with healthy eating, but it's reflected in many ways that can restrict your intake. You cut down what you're eating so you can get nutritional deficiencies and also the mental strain of dealing with being a perfect eater. Most importantly, the way that it's different from eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia is that an orthorectic focuses on the quality of food. It's not the calories or how much.
Not about weight loss?
It's not about weight loss. It's all about how they feel as a virtuous person, as a perfect person. You know, I'm a better person if I restrict. So it's not about the pounds, and it's not about the amount of food.
And before we turn to Robbie on the psychological component of all this, what are some of the characteristics, Madeline, of somebody who is orthorexic?
Someone who's spending, 3 or 4 hours a day obsessively reading labels, worrying about everything that's in their food, cutting out lots of things, perhaps focusing on, even with healthy foods, maybe there are pesticides on produce, the fat that's going to be in cheese, cutting down on salt, so taking some healthy things and then saying, I'm going to eliminate most things. So that's not a good thing. It's also very socially isolating. People are also starting to lecture others about, you shouldn't be eating this. So if you see these kinds of signs in people, you really have to wake up. But again, because you think, how could that be bad? It can be, because it can be horrible for your quality of life.
And Robbie, this is, we should point out, a disorder, not a disease.
Right.
But one imagines there is a psychological aspect underlying this.
Yes, absolutely. And we were talking about this earlier, that very often it's very similar to an obsessive compulsive disorder, only the focus is really food. So that's anxiety driven. Sometimes these people are depressed or trying to take real control of their lives.
I was going to say, anorexia is supposed to be about control.
They're perfectionistic and often have low self-esteem and are isolated because of some of these eating behaviors. So it takes over their life, where they're not living life because they're overly focused on food.
Yeah, and how do you know? Because I imagine there's a spectrum, right, of people who are very concerned about healthy eating and how you get into something that would actually be orthorexia. I mean, how do you know if this is something you need treatment for, Robbie?
Well, in part, some of these people really are medically impaired and are putting themselves at risk. So that's really the first thing to consider, and they're somewhat socially isolated. If they're really not able to live life normally and they're noticing that they can't work normally or they're not connecting with other people and they are depressed or anxious because of this, then there's a problem.
But everybody's got some food quirks. I mean, we all have them. But when it starts to interfere with your life, and others may be telling you this, because sometimes people don't want to recognize it. They say, I'm really a healthy eater and defend this. You really have to take action, because it's going to be a physical problem. You can get nutritional deficiencies, protein deficiencies. You won't be in good physical health, and your mental health suffers as well.
And very quickly, you say some children might be more prone to this?
Well, children can be prone to this, and it's particularly bad because it's growth and development. Parents want to do the right thing. They see their parents doing it, and they do it. So it can be something that is fulfilling in the whole family. So you really have to fight against it. But moderation is key in everything, especially healthy eating.
And the difficulty is that these people are resistant because they really feel that they're in the know. So that is really the challenge.
Something to be aware of.
Indeed it is. All right, Madeline Fernstrom and Dr. Robbie Ludwig, good to see both of you. Thank you.